So I am Jana, and this is actually my 8th year at BGC, and I have met so many great people here, and I am so happy to be here again. I have been a Unity developer at Jawaker, Unity engineer at Jawaker for the past few months. But before that, I was the 11, 12, 13, 16-year-old game developer. And yes, I do know how to count, but COVID took away some years as well as my ability to do math. I was also co-founder of Sakura Games with my sister Sham. We were Rising Star winner and we made edutainment games. I was also known as too young to employ by many recruiters. When I was much younger, I wanted to be an inventor. I had a piece of paper with all my ideas written and drawn on it. But more than anything in the world, I wanted to make a robot. So one day, I found a list of the pieces needed to make a robot online, and I was maybe 7, and I went to my dad with it, and I asked him to buy me these pieces. He told me they didn't sell them here, so instead, I've been a game developer for 7 years now. And in those 7 years, I have made hundreds of games of varying qualities. But when I started out, like every new developer, I wanted to create the greatest game the world has ever seen. So my sister and I sat down and we brainstormed for many days, and we came up with the greatest, most spectacular, original idea. A crazy scientist who wants to capture all the Pokemons in the world and send them off to space. But copyright. So instead we had to go with robots, and we created Sham Jana hunters. Back then, in our minds, we had thought it was a better, more creative Pokemon Go. Now, I think it sucks, but still to me, it was thrilling, because even though I had been a programmer for 2 years prior and I had made many projects, I had never been able to interact or like my projects as much as I did this. That was when I decided game development was my calling. This is 9-year-old me when I first learned how to code. And these are the 5 languages I used to know how to code in, also as well as the certificates I got to prove that I knew them one day. So since then I've made many games, I had many ups and downs, I've been in many game jams. So I'll walk you through the early stages. This is Hadlaqa. This was my first game jam, made in 3 days. Sharnaqa, first edutainment game. Zuna, named after the snail. Zakuri, and please, the credits for the wonderful names go to my sister Sham. Sanobara, the better than Google's dinosaur game, because duh, this is 3D. Sticky the Sticky, wonderful name. Crimson, which taught kids colors, shapes, letters, and numbers in English and Arabic. Cargirl Garage, which taught people actual applicable DIY in cars. And Bio Game Adventure. Ever since we started in game development, my sister and I had aimed to add some educational value through our games. But more than anything, these games taught me things. Like Cargirl Garage taught me how to change a tire and check oil. It was also nominated for Women in Games Global Game Awards, and it was the only nominee in all of MENA. And this is Qurmuzi. Qurmuzi taught me to never manually place leaves on a text in Photoshop. Look at this beauty. Look at each and every one that was placed and colored so carefully. Sticky taught me that this is a bad name. Also taught me that I'm horrible at soft body physics. It didn't teach me soft body physics. Sanobara taught me that 3D does not mean better. Zachary taught me pathfinding, Zuna taught me absolutely nothing, and Sharnaqa taught me that I'm a terrible UI artist. Game by game, I learned to polish both code and gameplay. But honestly, ever since I started, I never liked my games because I always thought I could do better the next one. But now looking at them, I am proud because I can actually do better and they are the reason why. Now, this is a quick game. 3 games I've worked on. Which one of them would you guess is more successful? If we're going for first, please raise your hand. Okay. Second. Okay. Third. Okay. that's a fair guess. But me personally, I don't think it's fair because they're all my kids. And each of them succeeded in its own way. Crimson got the love and approval of parents. It also got the 2nd place in Big Indie Bitch. Bouncy got a really good metrics, and it was very addictive for a while. But Madfa Jamid, it was the first game we had ever sold. Now, an easier one, 3 games, same genre. Qawqa'a, Never Served, and Bouncy. First. Second. Again. Third. Okay, it is the winner. You were right. Of course, it got great metrics. But Never Served was actually made in 6 days, and it had amazing feedback from its players. And Qawqa'a caused a literal addiction for its players. One of its players loved it so much, tried for many days to win it. Unsuccessfully, he did win it after we added checkpoints. His suggestion, by the way. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about what I learned making my games. I learned that development can be a little different based on the genre. Like, for example, finding a concept. When you think of edutainment games, you might not, you want to teach a concept, you want to find any concept that can be taught and turn it into a game. And the mechanics that you can use are endless, like maybe vacuuming humanoids to teach blood donation rules. For hyper-casual, the possibilities are endless. The sky's the limit. Maybe it's something you want to do, but it's too expensive and you don't have the energy or resources to do it. Or maybe it's illegal. Or maybe you want to make a game about chopping trees. Probably illegal. That's also fine. Or you found a weird Snapchat filter that you want to make. For board card games, it's a little different because usually you're turning a real game into a video game, so the focus isn't much on concept development as it is on actually making a video game from the rules of the real game. Now, of course, there are card video games that are not inspired by real life ones, but that's not the focus here. For designing mechanics, when you think of edutainment, first thing on your mind is interactive quizzes, like the one in the middle, which is actually a valid example in many ways. But you can also use many other mechanics, like collecting letters to make words, or a mix of simulation mechanics like we had in Cardboard Garage. For hyper-casual, you want something simple, intuitive. It's not really limited, it's just something you want the player to understand from watching its video. Art style is mostly dependent on the targeted audience, but also sometimes genre plays a part in it. Like, edutainment games are usually targeted at kids. You want the visuals to be colorful and clear. For hyper-casual, you want also colorful visuals, which is shocking, I know, but Actually, environment art was a big no when we started out, but now it is actually essential. The second game was considered too much art when we started out. There are slightly different ways of getting feedbacks based on the genre you actually make. So when it comes to edutainment games, you want to playtest with educators and with kids, and it's really important to even playtest with educators while in development because you want accuracy. It's really a key here. And the kind of feedback you give to players is also important in entertainment games. We once had a person an educator tell us that you should never reprimand a kid for the failures they make. You should always encourage their success instead. For hyper-casual, it's rarely tested with people. It's mostly rapid prototyping and testing with analytics only. And you check CBI and retention, cost per install. And if maybe CBI is good, but retention isn't, you want to look at your ad. Maybe it's not actually the gameplay. For board card games, you usually test with players of the game. Maybe they play it often on other apps, or they play it in real life even better. Different genres have the same goal ultimately. You want to create a good experience for players. But in the end, it's not the matter, it's not the numbers or loyal player base or fun mechanics that make a game. It's ultimately about revenue. Thanks for listening. If you want to talk to me, please don't. I am kidding. I would love to hear your thoughts. My email and LinkedIn are here.
Thank you so much, Jana. Does anyone have any questions for Jana? Just stick your hand up and then I'll come over with the microphone. There's one at the very back. I'm coming. Run. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. No worries. Well, hello.
Hi.
Thank you for your great job and your great presentation, first of all. Second, I want to ask you, how to begin? What can be the first step to start to make, these games?
To start to make these games?
Yeah.
You either find a developer or become one. I think that's the first step. And if you plan to become a developer, you have many options for what you want to learn, technically speaking. You have many engines right now. My go-to is Unity. I know many people disagree. But you would want to learn an engine, maybe some 2D or 3D art. And honestly, there are a lot of great people here you can learn from and maybe even team up with. I'm sure there are other people who would want to start out in this industry here, many students. And I would just say to go on YouTube and look up how to make your first game and you would be set up.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Brilliant. Does anyone else have any questions?
Charlie, here's one in
There's
the front.
one. Run.
Okay, first of all, thank you for this great presentation. And my question is, you've had a really vast majority of games that you have experience with, and some of them worked, some of them not. But I want to ask you, what are the things that you saw that are common in the games that worked with you? You saw them grow and become successful, yeah.
Honestly, there is no key that would make a game successful. You would want to playtest, throw an idea, make a demo, and playtest it with actual people to check if they like it. It's just, it has to be enjoyable. The core of it has to be enjoyable. Like it doesn't have to be complicated to be enjoyable. That's the main thing. The bare minimum of it should be likable and loved by players. Honestly, no. You never know in this industry, and also it's gender dependent as well.
Brilliant. We have time for one quick question, so if you have any, now speak now or forever hold your peace and all that sort of stuff. No? No? Okay, can we give Jana another round of applause, please?